Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Keys to Success for Music Majors. It's been a little while. We wanted to just let you know we're still here and happy to be continuing on with the podcast. And just welcome to everyone. We're near the end of the semester. My name is Charley Roush, and I am a librarian at UTRGV. I specialize in music.
And my name is Katrina Roush. I'm a professor of music theory at UTRGV. Today we have another very special guest with us. We wanted to interview one of our students. Here we have a graduate student. His name is Sam Pasqualetto, and we're going to be talking to him today about what it's like to be a graduate student in general, what it's like to be a graduate student at UTRGV more specifically, and just some of his experiences. Welcome, Sam. Thanks for being with us today.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess we'll go ahead and just jump into questions for you. To start off with, can you tell us a little bit about your background? What brought you to UTRGV and what did you do before you came here?
So I started on the base in 2005 and I started my undergrad in 2007. And I did all my regular undergrad courses in performance. And after I graduated, I worked in orchestras in the South region of Brazil, where I'm from. So my background consists mainly in orchestra playing and teaching lessons one-on-one, so individual lessons. And I've worked with kids for a while, and I worked with adults that seek music as a hobby. So it was a pretty interesting experience to have to change my approach to music teaching and music learning to people that did not want to pursue a professional career out of it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's it. I traveled a lot while working because I had to move a lot to the jobs that I won. So it's been part of my background to move around. So I think it helped me to actually change countries and come to the UTRGV to study.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Cool. Oh, cool. So you're working on a graduate degree, and I think everybody watching is familiar with the regular parts of getting a college degree, you know, classes, of course, and you have ensembles and lessons, performances. Are there any other parts or components of a degree that you had to complete in order to get a graduate degree as opposed to what you had to do back in undergrad?
There was nothing that I had to do that would that was kind of a requirement for my grades or for my degree plan, but there's a lot of things that I think that we need to do in order to enhance our experience as graduate students. So the first, it's lots of reading. And I had to do that to put my research in perspective, because my graduate degree was always, this was the first time that I had to work with deep research and a long process of research. So to put everything into perspective, I had to read a lot. And I was able to do 2 poster presentations at UTRGV that helped a lot for the process to explain my research and to frame it within a poster. So it was nice to actually have a visual effect of what I was doing. And summer festivals and conventions are important as well. And I had the chance to travel, to study and to present and to play. This is kind of a bonus for all the work you have, and especially because it brings you different experiences from different people from another places to your research, especially dealing with a research degree. So I would say that those experiences are important, although they are not required.
Sure. Now, you did mention research for performance majors. Is there a requirement to do research? Do you have to do a dissertation, or are there options? How does it work within a performance graduate degree?
So here at UTRGV, we have 2 tracks for the master's degree. We have the performance with thesis or performance without thesis.
Okay.
And I applied for the thesis one because it offered a nice scholarship, and I was lucky to win that. So it kind of went together with my desire to do research and to have a nice subject to work on. So this is something that students interested in a graduate college must be aware of, what kind of funding they might have and what kind of scholarships they have.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely a big part of, I think, of looking for graduate schools, is deciding, like, are they going to help pay your way? Because it can get really expensive, especially if you're out of state or out of country. Like a student, it can get really expensive. So that's really cool. Okay, so you talked a little bit about your thesis and about some of the things you did for research. Can you just sum up your thesis topic for us and maybe like a few sentences? I know that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Tell us what your area of research is, and then is there anything that you learned about doing research through that process?
So my research is about the practice routine in a Bach suite for double bass. The Bach suite's originally from cello, but playing in the double bass. And I tried to develop a way in which students can use my experience and my framework to apply the information that I gathered in their practice routine. So it's a roadmap to proper practice and a more efficient practice. And I think that the most interesting thing that I learned during this process is to choose the methodology in which I need to gather information in a very precise way, because it helped me with my research and it helped with my practice as well. So it was kind of the first step to organize my time and to organize my research. So learning about different methodologies and different aspects of research is what kind of expanded my practice routine to a more intellectual and efficient way. So I would say get familiar with methodologies and experiment with them, and after a while it becomes natural what to choose and what to apply. So that's pretty cool.
I think that's a really important point. You know, before you just dive into something, to kind of make a plan, like decide the best way to go about it. It'll make it a lot easier when you actually do your research. When you have it outlined and set out the way you want to approach it. Yeah, it's really good advice.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on some of what I'm going to mention right now, but now that you've been through an undergraduate degree and are well on your way to being done with your graduate degree, what would you say are attitudes or habits that are effective in doing graduate study, and how would you say those maybe are different or the same to what you did as an undergraduate student? Or another way to put it, do you have any advice you would give to any undergrads who are considering studying at the graduate level? What would you say is needed to be effective going to that next step?
Also, in my experience, I had a 10-year gap between undergrad degree and graduate degree. So I would say the most important difference for me was that I had to be an independent learner throughout the whole graduate degree.
Okay.
So I think that is something that students might want to prepare for, to be able to research on their own and to learn on their own and to seek information on their own, because the degree is so short. It's 2 years and you're supposed to be done. And that's it. So being independent is the most different thing that I had to learn about, and it was interesting because with the experience that I have between the degrees, it kind of made me realize what I know and what I don't know, and to be able to develop self-confidence in my work and my research. So I could bring information to my advisor that didn't need to be gone over again just because it was already right. So it's just a matter of organizing my thoughts and put it into paper or putting into practice. So
sure. I love what you said about knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know. I think when we start off as students, we get afraid of oh my gosh, I don't know everything. That's going to be bad. But I think in a way, what you're saying is excellent, because if you know that you aren't quite up to speed on something, you can do something about it. And as you mentioned already, being independent is a way, as a learner, is a way to really bolster up your individual weaknesses, and that's a lifelong process. That's not just something you do in graduate school. Certainly throughout your profession, I think that's one of the keys that makes like some of the really great people great. So I think that's an awesome attitude you're talking about.
Yes, not knowing things is not bad.
Sure.
On itself. Is just you gotta know what you don't know and able to correct them or to enhance them. So after a while, it becomes a more natural process and a more quick process, because you just realize what you need to work on, and it's not something to be ashamed or worried about. It's just something that you need to be aware and able to progress.
Yep. Well said.
You're right, because if you do feel ashamed about things you don't know, that gets in the way of you being able to learn and progress. And you have to like work something out in your head before you can even like get to the part where you can learn something. So yeah, I think it's important to have that attitude of, I mean, we certainly, I mean, Charlie and I do not have it figured out in any way, right? We're always learning like how to do it better. You know, and I've done extensive research, and I still feel like I almost know nothing about research, just because there's so much more to always learn. And that's an okay place to be. It's kind of makes life interesting to think that, you know, our learning doesn't stop when we graduate. But there's just always
I've seen a funny little chart or graph that talks about like your age or your place in school and how much you think you know versus what you don't know. And like the graph actually, it goes down as you get older. You know, you're like, I don't know a lot more than I thought, but that's okay. It's what we're talking about. That's how you start really independently filling in what you aren't quite as prepared for or know about.
All right. Well, we have one last question for you. So we ask all of our all the people that we interview on the podcast, we always ask them, what is something that you like to do for fun that doesn't have to do with music or your career path?
Well, I love cooking, and this pandemic actually gave me the chance to perfect my pizza skills. So we've been working on different doughs and different sauces and different toppings. So it kind of gives me a chance to work on different things with my hands, like cutting things and cooking itself. And the whole process kind of takes my mind away of the things that I have to do in music or regarding to my degree, and it gives me a fresh start every time that I finish it. So I think having a hobby, especially in these times that we are living in, is very important and very healthy.
Sure.
So cooking is a good idea, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
And you get to eat it, so it's extra
good. There's a ready reward after it. So
so this is a terrible segue, but speaking of rewards, you have been here for a couple of years and you've worked really hard, and you're graduating in a couple weeks, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So we wanted to say congratulations to you, Sam, for your graduating with your master's degree, and congratulations to all of our viewers who are graduating this semester. We're so excited and proud of you, and we just wanted to say we know that especially this year during the pandemic, it's been really hard to do anything. So for those of you, especially who graduated through a pandemic, we wanted to say congratulations and good job. You guys did it. You deserve this. And I hope that the celebration is really fantastic.
It's going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, this concludes our episode. We just wanted to go ahead and share our contact information with anyone who might want it. So as usual, you can contact me if you have any questions about the music program. If you have questions about research, doing music research or other research, you can contact Charley. And also Charley's department, Research and Instruction. They're happy to help with all of your general research questions. And if you have something you'd like to say about the podcast, if you would like to give us any tips for future episodes or just ask questions or have comments, please feel free to email us at our Gmail address.
Alrighty, well, that is pretty much it this week. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you soon. Good luck, everyone, as you finish up the semester. We're almost there, so keep on going, everybody.
We've got this.
Yep. Alrighty, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.